Hi, I'm Asian Brat. I'm a DJ mixing predominantly on 140 to 160 BPM. Welcome to Sounds of Craft. So I started DJing about 6 years ago during lockdown time, and I was in a really bad mental state, and because I didn't really know where I wanted to go in my future. I was kind of stuck between wanting to be a creative, but also wanting to succeed in life and having enough money there. And then I think music kind of came to me because I was always kind of drawn to fashion, and I made a mix on SoundCloud, and it just blew up. It just got really, really, really big. And then I thought, why can't I do this? I can do this. And then I had my first set. It was just a really small thing for a magazine launch, and I really it was like 20 people, and I really, really, really liked it. And I thought this could actually be something that I could do. And yeah, here we are. I think very early on, my good friend of mine, who unfortunately passed away, but she was a big influence for me because, back in the day, she would throw little mini parties in the park, and she was the first one in my circle who was DJing. And we would go and I would watch her and be like, look, this is actually sick, and I want to do this. And then I did it. So big up to Ella. So thank you. So when I'm curating a mix, I always follow a structure. I know a lot of DJs, they do different things, and some DJs, I think most DJs that I've come across, they just sort of have a playlist. But for me, it's really important to plan and structure a mix, because even though you don't know what the crowd are going to be like, I think when you have something prepared, you're less likely to mess something up. And also there's way more technical things that you can do. Whereas if you just come into a set and you don't really know what you're playing, I think, there's yes, you can engage with the crowd more, but you might mix less almost. I think when I'm mixing, it's so important that I actually DJ, and every time that I'm, you look at me, I'm always doing something. I'm never standing around, because I think it's important, if you're a DJ, be a DJ. Don't just stand there and not do anything, press play. I really don't like that. So I think it's important to just plan something so you can follow a structure, and you might, go away from that structure, and that's fine too. You might come into a venue where the crowd isn't really feeling what you're playing, and then you can go into something else, but at least you've got some sort of structure so you can follow that. So I think music nowadays has definitely become more inclusive. There's big events doing more things focused on female lineups and bringing women and people of color into lineups, which I think is great. I mean, my collective, Sex Lady Massive, we're focused on championing women. And I think it's really important in a scene like this where, it's a creative scene. So you get everyone, all sorts of people. So why would we only put white men on lineups? There's so many different people that are a creative. So we should have loads of people on, or loads of different people on a lineup. And I think being a person of color, being Chinese, I think, I'm seeing more representation, but I still think there's a lot lacking. I don't see enough people my race DJing or on a lineup, and I'm actually finding it hard to, connect with people who look like me. And I think sometimes you feel a little bit lonely because you feel like an outsider with all these people. But there are definitely, I am seeing more and more. There's companies like Feed the Dragon now who are specifically focusing on Asian talent, which I think is great. Recently, I've been connecting with more and more people who look like me as well, which I think is awesome. Yeah, and I think it's just really important to keep representing who you are, because this scene needs people from all walks of life, not just one.